there's more to it than that, and David Moyes knows a little bit more about it than perhaps we do and the fans do, but that's the way they've chosen to play at the moment.
United with people in those roles in terms of, you know, looking at Michael Carrick and how suited he is to taking on the job long term, or also other options from abroad?
Yeah, of course, I think they are delighted that they see the results that they're having. Of course, they're much closer on the training ground and seeing what's happening, the atmosphere around it, the joy, the technical changes there have been. But yeah, in my opinion, a director or a club, they need to put like a dual track system, so you can see what's happening Monday Night Football. You can see what's happening today again. Next weekend you have a match, but you have to prepare also for maybe worse times. You could lose tonight, you could lose the next match, and then all the questions will be probably in reverse. Everything is rosy now. So as a club organization, you must know what other possibilities, perspective you can have about managers who become available, who are there yet. Of course, you had Amorim, big talent coming from Portugal, didn't really fit into the system. So you must really know, what does a club need? What is the philosophy of the club? I think one great big example is of Kobbie Mainoo not getting a game under Amorim. The value of the youth system, bringing young players through, is not only at Ajax but also Man United a set in stone. So to give him the opportunity and put him back in the team, that lifts so many, not only the supporters but also the younger players in the club. So there's still a chance for myself to be there, and that gives pride to a lot of people.
So we've got former CEO experience here in Edwin van der Sar. We've got Gary Neville.
Gary Neville's always talking about the famous, central defenders in front here. Who was to blame, Gary?
Do you know something? That's a really difficult one, that one. Do you know did you watch Stephen Pienaar's run across the face? That's the challenging one, when you half go with that and then that one pulls round the back. Yeah, should have done better though.
Gary, how good was it to have this man behind you for all those years? As he says, he came with great experience that time as well.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We'd been through a real period of instability with goalkeepers, Dave, where we changed so many. I don't know how many we had. We must have had 5, 6 or 7 in a probably 4 or 5 year period. And then when Edwin came, it seemed to restore order. He was so calm. He never really felt like he was sweating in football matches. And he was never panicking. He was very experienced. He's just what we needed at a point whereby we're quite a young team, a back four that was trying to re-establish itself. And from that moment on, if you look at Edwin's record there, I think in a 5 year period from 2006 to 11, 4 Premier League titles in 5 years, 3 Champions League finals, obviously some cup victories as well. It was an incredible period for the club, and Edwin was at the heart of that.
It certainly was. And of course, Manchester United are trying to get back there, and they've got a big decision facing them this summer in terms of the direction and the head coach. You've been pretty firm on this, Gary, so far. I think, in terms of Manchester United should wait until the summer and go with an experienced figure. Is there anything that Michael Carrick can do in that time to change your view?
Look, I think that Manchester United have to pursue another manager right now on the basis of what Edwin's just said around the fact that you don't know how the results are going to go. But I think, look, little things like Tuchel re-signing with England does start to take away the options for Manchester United and mean that it doesn't harm Michael's chances of getting the job. Look, I think if he gets into the Champions League, then there'll be a lot of fever, I would imagine, around that he should be appointed. So, look, I'm not against Michael being appointed. I love him to bits and think that he's done an incredible job so far. I just feel that Manchester United should go for the best-in-class manager available. They've had young managers or sort of inexperienced managers in the last 2. It's not quite worked. Obviously, Ollie's come in before. He was an ex-player. He did a very good job for a couple of years. But again, that didn't work in the end. So I just feel removing as much risk as possible is the right option. But that, people will know me that that's not personal against Michael, because I love him to bits. He's a great lad, a great player, and someone who's doing a very good job as a coach now.
Might there be other factors, though, Gary, that come into play around Michael Carrick? And I'm not just talking about results, but maybe, tactical flexibility, beating all types of opposition in all types of circumstances, maybe even the way he handles the press, and he's had a couple of curveballs to deal with already as United boss.
Yeah, I mean, his problems, to be fair, I think with the press haven't come from any football questions. His problems have come, obviously, with what Jim Ratcliffe said a couple of weeks ago. That's been his major problem, obviously. It was a little bit more difficult for him on Friday, but that's nothing to do with him. I mean, he was in an unenviable position of having to try and not go against his owner, but obviously support the sort of what we wider club position, which was to put a statement out, sort of distancing themselves. So I don't think Michael's got any problems with the press. He handles it really well. He doesn't get carried away. Tactically, look, it's been a problem for Manchester United managers to dominate possession. There's only Louis van Gaal since Sir Alex Ferguson left that I think has really come in and mastered possession. The rest of them have mainly played on the counter-attack. Michael, I think, in his first few games with the quality of opposition was able to play on the counter-attack as well. It was a little bit more difficult at West Ham away, but tonight look, they'll have another opportunity to see how they can do against a team that probably play better without the ball, or do play better without the ball.
Gary, you've been in Everton's magnificent new stadium for the last hour, and you've been enjoying the hospitality, I believe.
Oh, honestly, Cara, these things, right?
What's that?
Honestly, I mean, I know they're blue and you really shouldn't be eating them because they're full of calories and everything like that, but they do these toffee donuts here. They're absolutely incredible, and anybody who can get their hands on one should have one, honestly. Thank you, Brett.
How many have you had, Gary? How many have you had?
I've had half of one so far, but I've got another one travelling up to the gantry with me.
Gary, thank you very much, and we can just confirm as well, and Gary would be interested to hear this news.
Well, there you go. Like us, you know him very well. You shared a dressing room and a pitch with him many, many times. I guess it's no surprise to you the way he's taken to life at United in these 5 games.
No, it hasn't at all. You know, we all know him and know what his character's like. He's so laid back, but you know, when he talks, you know, he gets people to listen. You know, I think he went into the job and you know he was just talking to the players in a way that he just wanted them to work hard. You know, at times he had a structure that he said to them, this is what I've been built on. This is what he knew before. And I think he's just implemented that as a player. He took it from the boss, Sir Alex, and, you know, he's using that. And I think you look at the confidence that's going through the squad now. You know, all the players feel confident. You know, he's given them that confidence to go out there and play and get wins on the board, which is the most important thing. And, you know, I'm delighted for him. And, you know, I always knew that, you know, if he got another opportunity as the manager to take over and do good things, then, you know, he's always going to do that.
Listen, you've captained this club. You know it inside out. There's been an awful lot has been said about him understanding the club and the length of time he's been there. I mean, give us an idea of how important that is at a club like United, and perhaps some of the other managers haven't quite grasped that.
I think it's so important when you know the club, when you've played for the club, represented the club for as many years as Carros has. You know, he knows the club inside out. You know, just little things like going to watch the youth teams in the Youth Cup is, you know, it's massive. It's massive for the younger players to see that, you know, the first team manager's here, and not just the manager, all of his staff go as well. That's what Manchester United has been bred on, the younger players coming through and getting into the first team. And, you know, I think he'll be saying that, you know, I'm watching you, so make sure you're doing the right things, make sure you've got the Man United values, and you're able to, if ever called upon, go into the first team and show what you can do. So, you know, I always had no doubt in my mind that he was going to be a fantastic manager. He's got that nature, and, you know, I don't think there's anybody that can say they don't like him, because he's just got that way about him.
Yeah, agreed. That's the man management side of it. We thought after 5 games now there was a starting point to have a look at his style and perhaps what went before him with Ruben Amorim as well. And you've got a few figures.
It's not just a small sample now, as we know. It's 5 games. It's something that you can maybe hang your hat on a little bit more. But the stats are there in defence. You know, they're not necessarily pressing as much as an Amorim team. They might be sitting back, might be playing to their advantage a little bit more. They're certainly conceding less. They're allowing opposition to make a few passes against them. But they're not getting caught out. They're not getting caught out of position in attack themselves, not having so many shots. But I think the conversion rate and the quality